Hey, what's up, my YouTube fam? I'm back. This is Larry with Invest and Build Your Credit and Wealth. And today we have another exciting class. We're going to be talking about how to get medical debt removed off of your credit report. I'm going to give you the whole pie, everything from A to Z on all the different strategies, all the different things you can do to remove the the medical debt off of your credit report, right? So stay tuned, take your notes. I made a bunch of notes, so if you see me looking over, because there's a lot of different things, a lot of different strategies and processes that you can do to try to get this medical debt removed off of your credit report. So let's keep it live. Get your pen and paper out, because there's a lot of information I'm about to pass on to you. So, but first I want to say thank you for all my new subscribers. Hey, I appreciate you for coming to the channel. Subscribe, like, and share. My job is to give you the real information, the real deal. I promise you, anything I'm giving y'all, I'm doing my research and looking it up. I'm not giving you no fluff. I'm not sending you around the world. I'm not talking in circles. I'm not doing any of that. I am telling you the real deal. And if you ask me, I can give you the supporting documents. It's all good. That's why I put most of the stuff I even do on my videos, I put in my master dispute package. And then I give you all that information. A lot of information that I get, a lot of things that I do, I get from consumer lawyers. I don't really listen to other people to do credit repair. I go to the people that have to go in the court. How does the court look at these situations for the consumer? That's what I look at. And I think that's the strongest way to look at credit repair is what the court say. How does the court look at certain documents? How does the court look at certain things like the Fair Credit Reporting Act, the Fair Debt Collection Practice Act, the Model Medical Protection Act, all those different things. That's what I look at when I do credit repair. So, and I think that's how you should approach it. And if you approach it that way, in most cases, you'll come out on top. But anyway, I just wanted to reach out and say that, but let's get into it. Let's get into how to remove medical debt. Again, though, like, subscribe, and share, and I appreciate all my new subscribers coming to the channel. Let's get into it. So the first thing you want to do is you always want to pull your credit report. Pull a credit report, and what you need to do, we're just talking about medical debt. You want to skim and look at, do I have any medical debt from a collection company that is reporting on my credit report? Once you pull it, you get it. There's certain things you want to look at on your medical debt. First thing you want to look at is anything reporting inaccurate, that's not right, on your credit report. First thing we're going to talk about, I talked about this before, is the original creditor's name. With any collection company, not just medical debt, but even though this class is on medical debt, if a collection company is reporting a collection, they are required to put the original creditor's name so you know exactly where that debt is coming from. So if it's a medical debt and say portfolio recovery is on your credit report, it says portfolio recovery, and then in parentheses it says come from West Emergency Center, right? That's the original creditor's name. That's where the bill comes from. That's the person that turned it over to the collection agency, even though they purchased it or they was assigned to recover the debt. So that's the first thing you need to look at. And why is that so important? I want to read something to you. Debt buyers report the name of the company/creditor that originally opened the account for the consumer. Even if the account has been sold multiple times to different debt buyers, that account the original name has to be reported. And you can refer to K2 in Metro 2 for purchase from information, right? So that is so important. So the first thing, original creditor's name. The next thing you want to look at is, what is the classification of this debt that's reporting? right? It should be classified as a medical debt or health care, one of the two. So I'm going to read something else to you. To assist with compliance of the Fair Credit Reporting Act, companies who report medical debt for medical purposes must report the creditor classification to indicate medical or health care. So if there's a medical debt and they're not specifying medical or health care, that's an inaccuracy. That's number 2 on the list. The next thing you need to look at, the date assigned. Now, they have, the Fair Credit Reporting Act says they have 6 months before they can report that medical debt on your credit report. So if you if you went to the medical facility in January, they can't report that debt until July, 6 full months. And then the Medical Debt Protection Act says that they also should give you 1 more month and send out the last bill. And I can show y'all this in the Medical Protection Act. So you got 1 more month for them to send out the last bill before they report it, right? That's what the Model Medical Protection Act says. So they cannot report that medical debt for 6 months from the point that you've seen the medical. They do that simply because insurance purposes, making sure that the insurance end up paying the debt. They don't want to put that so fast because maybe the insurance come back. One of the biggest issues is a lot of time insurance have paid those medical debts and then they've passed it to a collection account, and then these people are putting stuff on your credit report, excuse me, and the debt has been paid. The medical debt has been paid. So that's why they say there has to be 6 months that have to be passed, 6 full months before they can even put that on your credit report. And the Model Medical Protection Act said they should send you out 1 more bill before they report that, which would make 7 months to give the consumer time to make sure they could take care of this bill. The next thing you want to look at is past due balances. Credit collection companies can't report a past due balance. They are not the original creditor. You never entered in any type of agreement with them. They're just collecting on a debt. No agreement was made. You never made an agreement with them. They're not the original creditor, so they cannot report a past due balance. That's for original creditors to do. So if you get a past due balance on a collection account or a medical debt collection, it's inaccurate. Definitely go after that. The next thing is date of last payment. They can't have a date of last payment on a medical debt. Again, they are not the original creditor. You've never established any type of payments with them. So they cannot report a date of last payment unless you've made some kind of payment arrangement with them and you've made payments, then they could report that. But most times, most people have never made a payment, never agreed to any type of payments, and they look at their credit report, they got some date of last payment. Inaccurate. The next thing is, I get a lot of emails about, hey, well, the date of last activity is being moved. They're not supposed to be moving the date of last activity. The date of last activity, honestly, should be when that account came into the collection agency's office. That's the day they came into the office. The date of last activity should be that date, unless there are 3 reasons why. One, they move the date if the consumer made a payment, meaning you made some kind of payment arrangement or you made a payment, that's going to change the date. Or you missed the payment because you made some type of payment arrangement and you missed the payment. That would change the date. Or the balance increased. A balance shouldn't be increasing on a medical debt. They can't be charging interest on a medical debt unless whoever you went to, somewhere in their agreement, they said that they could charge interest on that medical debt. If they don't have that, they cannot charge interest on a medical debt. They can't charge interest. They can't change the date of last activity, right? All these things are important. And as I go down, you're going to see why it's so important. So they can't do that. So they can't be just moving the date. Now, that date is not the purge date. They do not use that date. They used to use that date to purge accounts. They no longer use that date. So don't be worried about that they're changing that date to extend the reporting time. That's not the date they use to purge information off your credit report. And then once you go through all of that, now that's when you need to start putting your dispute letter together. But remember, only dispute one thing at a time. You force the credit bureaus to have to investigate that one and only dispute. You send in 2 or 3 disputes. We don't know, you don't know which one of those disputes that they may pick out to investigate. Nobody can tell you if they're going to investigate all 3, because when you get your credit report, it doesn't say we investigated this, verified. We investigated this, verified. We investigated this, verified. You just get a letter say the account was verified. So don't send in all these different disputes. Send in one at a time, right? So now you got your dispute letter together. You got that. You got your one dispute. You got that. Put it to the side now. Now we're going to go at the collection company. We're going to send a validation letter, or we're going to do an affidavit. I like to do affidavits. So the first thing, and I'm going to break down things the most important things you should put in your validation or your affidavit, right? My affidavits, it's really 2 pages long. It's a lot of information, but I picked out these are the strongest things you should add, and you can always add other things to your affidavit or your validation to the collection company. First thing you should put in there is ask the collection, say, are they following HIPA, which is the Health Insurance Probability Accountability Act, Section 45 CRF, Parts 160, 162, and 164. Also, ask the collection agency, are they charging interest on your medical debt? They shouldn't be charging interest on your medical debt. The next thing you want to look at is let them know that I want to make sure that you're following the privacy rights under the State Unfair and Deceptive Act and Practice. It's called the UDAP law. With any associated damages, right? So I put that in there. The next thing I put in there is very important for collection agencies, right, that are trying to collect on medical debt is, you ask the collection, have they entered into a HIPA compliant business associated agreement with creditors prior to giving out the PHI, which is public health information. You definitely want to put that in your affidavit or your validation letter. And then you want to ask the balance, is the balance 100% accurate and been confirmed as accurate on the medical debt that you are trying to collect on? Send me the documents that of the medical debt that has been verified, the balance that has been verified on this medical debt. Then next thing you want to ask is, who is the original creditor of the medical facility that you're collecting this debt for, right? The original creditor. And then the last thing I want to say is, send me all documents that you have on this medical debt to verify this medical debt, because I'm not sure where this is coming from, and you've reporting this on my credit report. So I need validation and verification through my affidavit to make sure that this is mine. I don't even know this is mine, right? So you want to put all that in there, right? And you want to get that sealed. You want to send that certified mail. Some people like sending their dispute letters to the credit bureau certified mail. It's okay. The nice thing about that, you'll know exactly when it made it to the credit bureau, and you could put them on the clock. You know exactly when it got to the collection agency, you can put them on the clock, right? So those are the things that you want to do, right? So now you send those off together. Don't send one and send them off together. So you got kind of timeline when both of those will be coming back to you. right? You have, you know, it should be in that week that those come back to you, because they're going to be delivered depending on where they're going within that 7-day period, right? So, you know, within 7 days, you should be getting both of those back, right? And that's important, right? So the next thing you want to do, once you send that off, now it's a waiting game. You're going to wait till you get that information back, right? So if the bureau sent back and it says it's deleted, you won. Good. Everything is done with. You don't need to do no more, right? Because the credit bureaus have deleted it off of your credit report. Keep a record of it. Don't just toss it away. Keep a record in case they try to put something back on and they don't notify you within 5 days of putting it back on. But just keep it with you, right? Right. So after you do that, after that say it comes back and it's verified. Now, what's your next step? Now you got your credit bureau a letter back saying that it was verified. The collection agency sent back you this information, say, we verified that the information we sent you is accurate, and here go your documents or whatever they send you, right? So now that you do that, now you're going into the next step. Now you're going to go back to the credit. You're going to wait and see what the collection agency sent you on the debt. Match it up with the credit bureau. Is the account right? Is the amount right? All of that type of stuff. So if any of those inaccuracies that we talked about are still reporting, now you're going back. Now you're going to go back and do your method of verification. You're going to do your 620, your Section 623, subsection 1681I for investigating. You're going to go back and say, and you're going to see your method of verification. How did you verify this account? Who did you speak to when verifying this account? Did you actually talk to the collection agency through e-Oscar, or how did you verify this information, right? I am disputing because you are still reporting inaccurate information, right? You're still reporting no original creditor name. Again, that is a violation of Metro 2. There must be an original creditor name on there. Please reinvestigate and do a reasonable investigation, right? You're going to send that back. No, you're going to hold on to that. Now you're going to go back to the credit bureau. Now you're going to send them a 623, section 623, subsection 1681S for furniture. They are the furnisher of information, and they're furnishing inaccurate information. So you're going to say you're not reporting the original creditor name. That is a violation of Metro 2, right? Because that's the first dispute you sent out. And I got verification from the credit bureaus when I disputed it that this was a violation. You came back and told them that it was accurate. So now I got proof that you're reporting inaccurate information and refuse to fix the inaccurate information. So you sending them a copy of the verification. You sending them a copy of how your credit report looks without the original creditor name, highlighted in yellow of the errors of misreporting. And you're going to send that back in and say, please delete this account because you actually verified inaccurate information that is reported on my credit report. Now you're going to send it back to them because now you're putting them on notice that they have verified inaccurate information and refused to correct my credit report. See, everything you do here, everything that I think about is how it will work if you want to take these jokers to court. Not that I'm a lawyer, but I know based on the regulation and based on what they're supposed to be doing, I'm going to have some serious grounds to go after them if they're not going to fix my credit and report it. And I'm going to get that stuff deleted because they are reporting inaccurate information. Regardless if I owe the debt or not, they have to follow the policies and regulations or delete it because my credit report has to be 100% accurate, right? And I put them on notice that you're not reporting accurate information. I've told you what's reported inaccurate. I showed you what's reported and you refuse to fix it. So that's what you want to do. You also because the credit bureau, the credit bureau sent you back a letter. You also want to look at that letter they sent you, because there is something called language that is required in a debt collection letter. There are certain things that are required to be in that letter. So that's why I tell people, quit throwing away those letters and not looking at them, because there may be violations right in there. So you already got them for sending in inaccurate information to the credit bureaus. Now you may have them because they're violating the Fair Debt Collection Practice Act and don't have required language in the debt collection letter. See, you building your case against them. You see what I'm saying? Follow me what I'm telling you this, right? So let's go over what all of the violations could be. So one, that needs to be in the letter. This is an attempt to collect the debt. Any information obtained will be used for that purpose, right? Something else. This letter is from a debt collecting agency, right? They also has to have that in it. It is also unlawful for a collector to refer themselves as a government agency. There's a lot of crooked people, like a lot of crooked debt collectors out there. So any of this can be on there. Another one people really don't know. The physical street address of the license office must appear within the collection letter, right? Next thing, the collection letter can only use the term litigation or legal action if the collector has actually authorized litigation. In other words, they cannot use this as a term, a tactic to scare you into paying a debt. Same way, if somebody call you talking about we were on to serve you papers, man, hang up on them. They already in violation. They ain't doing nothing, right? They just trying to scare you. Words such as pay now or pay immediately should be avoided in the first letter. The collection agency should never offer a creditor a loan arrangement in order to collect on a debt. If they have made these violations, file a complaint with the FTC. You got to send them the letter. Send them a letter, highlight the violations and send it to them. And the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, which, they don't really do that much, but I would still send it in to them. Write the collection company a letter stating that there's violations in the letter that you sent me, and I filed a complaint with the FTC and the Consumer Financial Bureau, and that you're going to take this information. You're going to take this information to a consumer lawyer and see what my next steps are. All right, so now you resent them those letters. You got all these violations. You sent that stuff into them. Now it's back to a waiting game. You want to see what's going to happen. Is the credit bureaus on that second dispute letter going to go ahead and remove it? What is the collection company? They're going to go ahead and remove it. What they're going to do, right? You sent out your method of verification. You're going to send out your method of verification to the credit bureaus. You didn't send out the second letter back to the collection agency. That's what a lot of people don't do. They so scared of these collection company, they don't want to do. But me, I'm not scared of them. I'm a challenge you, because there's so many things that they are violating that if you know them, you're going to catch them every single time. That's why you hear some consumer lawyers say, man, I win a lot of cases against debt collectors, because they always find things that they're doing illegal, right? Just because the amount of information they get is very little. It's very little information that they get. They got these digital files that even in the digital file, the reason they never want to send you the purchase agreement is because it says in there that they cannot verify that the information they send you is 100% accurate. That's why they never want to send you the purchase agreement, especially with debt buyers. They know within that agreement, there's flaws in that agreement. And if you knew about the flaws, most people probably take them to court all day long and win, right? So they don't do that. So that's those are the few things that you want to do. The next thing, this is another strategy, right? You've sent off your letters, your second round letters to the bureaus and the collection agencies. You got all the stuff the violations that they've done. You got all that information, but this is your next strategy. Your next strategy is this: call the medical facility that provided you the service. Ask him, can you recall the debt from the collection agency? because if they can recall that debt, that would remove that debt from your credit report, simply because the collection companies will no longer have that in their office. They would have pulled it back. So once they pull it out of their office, they have no choice but to remove it from your credit report. Let them know that I'd rather pay that with you. Please recall, give me an opportunity to pay it with you. I didn't know this bill was there. My insurance was supposed to take it. All of that, just I don't give them a story about how you never knew you had this bill. Nobody notified you of this bill, or you moved, whatever, and tell them to recall the debt. And then they may say, well, let me find out if I can get that done, and you call them back. And when you call them and you ask them that, just say, just so I can make sure that I have all the correct information, can you send me or email me a HIPA release form, because I want my medical billing and what I was seen for when I went to the medical facility. I want the bill, what I was charged, and what I was seen for. I need that for my records, because now you can match that up to what the collection agency is trying to do, right? Or what the collection agency, the amounts may be off. They may not even be the same. So think about that. Now, this is getting all the information you need to get this stuff off of your credit report, right? And you can recall the debt. I've told clients that, look, call them and see if they'll recall the debt and take it, and you just pay it with them. Especially if it's like $400, $500, man, just have them recall it. And then once they recall it, it'll come off your credit report. That's simple. So that's a strategy. Now, just say none of that stuff worked. You sent off your first dispute letter, your affidavit, validation the first round. You wait till it got back. You found errors that was going on. You sent the method of verification, and you wrote the collection agencies again if they're reporting inaccurate information. Boom, you get that letter back. They still don't want to fix your credit report. You filed a complaint with FTC. You filed a complaint with the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau. After that, you have to make a choice. And the choices boil down to two things. Take them to court because you have accumulated enough information you can win your case, right? Or settle the debt. And what I always settle is with a restrictive endorsement letter, because now I'm going to create a contract between me, the consumer, and the collection agency. And I'm going to pay you less than that. First of all, I do that. 99%, my rate of success is 99%, because collection agencies are greedy anyway, right? They just want the money. And because half the time they don't even read the letter, they don't read the information or the statement that is on back of the payment method, which is a check, and they just cash it, right? And then you got them, because now you got record. You got record of it in your bank account. You got the letter. You got everything, right? So now they're going to have to remove it because they just entered into a binding contract, right? If you want to know about that restrictive endorsement, email me. Let me know. I have the letter for you. It's pretty much pre-written. Now you just got to put the information in there. It's got some legal statements that are in there. For pay endorsement. It's got a bunch of other stuff in there. So hit me up if you're interested in that. But now you go ahead and you settle it. So say that your account is $1,200. You got a medical debt for $1,200. Send them, make a settlement for $600. Send a letter. Don't call them. Don't email them. You need to just send it in and let them fall in the trap, the mouse trap. Because some of those collection agencies, in my experience, they'll go ahead and send you a letter and say you owe $600. No, I don't. I don't owe you $600. You just agreed and settled this debt. And you agreed to remove this debt off my credit report. And I have all the information that showed that you agreed to the terms and conditions. So it's all about being smart about how you deal with these folks, right? Because like I said, I don't make up this stuff. You know, I listen to the people that go into and sit in front of the judge, and then they make it. That's why even in that class I put together on 1099-C, that was how the courts looked at it. That wasn't my view. That wasn't my view at all. That was how the courts looked at it. So I was bringing y'all from the court aspect of it. So, but anyway, those are all the methods, what you should do if you want to get a medical debt removed. Hopefully I made this pretty clear. If I didn't, you know the deal. Email me. I'll get back to you. I'll explain it to you. I'll break it down even more. But that is all the different strategies that you can do for that medical debt. Don't just send in letters to the credit bureaus and send in a validation and say it's all over. Man, there are so many different policies, regulations, laws that they have to be following. You can catch them, but you just got to know what to do. So hopefully this video broke it down for you, gave y'all all the secrets, the nuggets, everything else for you to go ahead and execute it. But hopefully I did my job to get you that information, because that's what I do. I keep it real with you. So, but hey, I appreciate all y'all. Please like, subscribe to the channel, and I'm gonna be bringing out more content. The next thing I'm thinking about, because I really need people to understand how FICO works, and some of it is gonna deem back to how, you know, collection accounts, medical debts, and how FICO looks at certain information on your credit report and how it's graded. A lot of people have a lot of misinformation about that, but that's going to be the next thing. And I'm going to continue to bring y'all some content out here. You know, going to get into how you can start improving your credit, what kind of credit to get, how should you start building your credit. So we're going to get into that too. But anyway, I appreciate y'all. Hey, thank you for subscribing. Thank you for hanging out with me. Thank you for listening to me. And I want to say thank you for all the kind comments I always get on, hey, you're doing a good job, brother. Keep it up. We appreciate you. All that stuff, man, means a lot to me. And it just motivates me more and more to get y'all the information that you need. I'm truly here to help you. And if you can't see that, then I don't know what else to tell you. But that is my job, to help you, right? So if you got any questions, you know the deal, email me. If you need a free credit, look at your free credit consultation. And when I say free, I mean free. I ain't gonna ask you at the end of it, say, hey, I need such and such. No, it's free. I don't mind looking at it and giving you some good advice. You know what I mean? So if that's what you need, email me. I'll set up a time. We'll go over it. You just got to give me your credit report, or you can sign up for Identity IQ. If you need me to send you a link, I can send you a link to Identity IQ, and we can look at your credit report and I can help you out, right? If you want my master dispute package, I've been working on it. I'm getting it into more of a book format because, you know, I want to tell you why you should use this affidavit, why you should. So I'm starting to leave notes and put it more in a book. I promise you, this thing is, this book, I think it's up to about 65 pages of information about your credit. So I'm really working diligent. I've been working on this thing every day the last probably about 4 or 5 days, just getting it, making sure it's understandable and all that. So, but I still have the master dispute package not in the book form, with just all the documents, everything like that. If you're interested, email me, I'll get it to you. So, but any of that stuff, it's all in the description, how much the package costs, all that stuff like that. So if you're interested, email me. I'll send you a PayPal invoice to your email. Once it's paid, I get it over to you. And once you buy it, listen, I'm still accessible to you. If you got any questions, email me. You'll have my phone number, you'll have my email address, and we can talk and we can work it through it, and I can help you out. But I appreciate y'all. Thank you very much, and I'm out.